Hey everyone, welcome to today's video, which is all about mentorship and coaching as it relates to the CPA exam. So I want to explore who exactly needs mentorship, who needs coaching on their journeys to pass the CPA exam. What are the CPA review courses doing about it? And what is my study supplement, Kesler CPA Review, doing about it? And I want to compare and contrast the differences in the level of proactive support that we provide and ultimately the lack of support that the big name CPA review courses are providing to their CPA candidates. So let's get started. Okay, so just as an example, I want to show you exactly what a course like Becker CPA Review is going to provide you in terms of getting started with the CPA exam process. So the first thing you do after enrolling is you'll log into their online platform and set up your study plan. And this is where the confusion really begins, right? So they give you a little 4-minute tutorial. There's not even any slides in the video, just explaining what Becker CPA Review is all about and what the next steps are supposed to be. So then you create your plan and they really don't give you any guidance. Okay, there's 4 sections, but which one should I take first? Which one's best for me? Other than just this little recommendation here with text. So they don't assess your personal situation. Is your background in tax or is it an audit? Are you currently working or are you a college student? Like they don't allow for any customization in terms of the advice that is given. And if you want that sort of advice, then you have to contact their academic support, which again, it takes a couple days to get a response and it just holds you back. And so this is the value in having a mentor. They can provide training for you to provide a recommendation that's personalized for your situation on which exam to start with and what order you should take and so forth. And then, so let me just fill these 4 in and so we can move forward in the process. So the next conundrum, how the heck long should I be studying for each section? So they don't provide any real guidance for that. So when I first started studying for the CPA exam, I didn't ask anyone. I just assumed that more time was better. And so I gave myself, I believe it was 16 weeks to study for financial accounting reporting. It was during the summer while I was still in college, and I just figured I'll get to it and I'll study and it shouldn't be any big thing because the CPA exam is just like a college exam. And boy, was I wrong. The longer I gave myself, the worse that I tended to do. And so what personally, just a little pro tip here, the less time you can give yourself to force yourself to study with high intensity, honestly, the better. But again, you need to work with somebody. You need to ask those questions so that you can tailor this process to your exact situation. Because if you're not working right now, or if you're working full time, the answer I give you is going to be very different. Okay, so the next question to ask, how many hours per week should you be studying? And so it really, again, it varies by person. And again, this is going to be another question that you'd have to submit to their support team. And again, it's going to be very difficult to explain your personal situation to them and then to get a good response. Most people will be somewhere between 15 and 25 hours, typically after working with a couple thousand CPA candidates over the years. So you're going to likely fall under one of these two. And pro tip, just start as soon as possible. The sooner you start, the better, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to pass this exam. Okay, and that's about it. So then you go back, they provide you with a little bit of a study plan. I believe there's a calendar here that you can see. So it gives you a recommended start date and what topics and chapters and everything to dig into. But again, you'll notice that they don't teach you how to use the platform itself. The next step is literally to start studying. And for some people, they don't like video lectures. It's actually a waste of time for them. They zone out. They don't learn anything. They don't grasp anything. So if you followed the Becker plan, you just start with the video lecture, then answer some questions. And then if you need to, you can review the textbook digitally or use their physical textbook and so forth. So there isn't really any guidance to tailor this program based on your learning strengths. So for myself, watching video lectures was a waste of my time. Finally figured out that I needed to start with the ebook or the physical textbook. And then if I still had questions, then I would go to the lecture and answer the questions and so forth. So again, it really depends how you learn, and a coach and a mentor is going to help guide you to help you figure out what the most productive way to optimize how you study so that you're spending your time wisely. Because again, while studying for the CPA exam, your time is so limited that if you're spending it on busy work, it's really going to hold you back. So that's just one example of one of the big name CPA review courses and the lack of support that they provide for you. So they do have some basic tutorial videos in here, I found, but again, it's nothing about how to get your family involved in the CPA exam process so that you don't feel isolated, how to set study goals. There isn't really any accountability. They do have an 8-minute video on picking which exam to go first and some time management advice and so forth. But again, they don't really address what to do if you fail, what to do if you pass. A lot of these basic questions that a lot of CPA candidates have no idea about. And ultimately what happens when you don't have a mentor or a coach to teach you how to pass a CPA exam, you really risk making mistakes today that are going to cost you down the line. And so that's the real value in having a mentor and a coach and somebody to teach you what to do, but also what not to do. And so before sitting for any section of the CPA exam, I highly recommend that you find somebody to provide this for you, because again, because you complete 80% of the video lectures and 80% of the multiple choice and simulations and 50% of the mini exams and simulated exams does not guarantee you will pass this exam. And that's a big misconception in the industry, is that you need to focus on understanding the material, grasping it so that you can dynamically apply it to any possible question that they're going to throw at you at the real CPA exam. And so if you just trust these generic percentages and don't do your studying correctly in a way that is going to cater to your learning strengths, then you're really putting yourself at risk of failing. And that's the majority of our mentees. They come from Becker CPA Review, and they're so confused about even how to use Becker's platform or how to study or how they learn best. And then we basically tie them exactly to what they need to be doing, cutting out the fluff, and then getting them the Kesler boost that they need to pass the exam. And so I really want to dig into the Kesler CPA Mentorship portion, or what's called Ultimate CPA Exam Guide Mentorship. Kesler CPA Review, it's a study supplement. We enhance the studying experience with courses like Becker and Wiley CPA and UWorld Roger and all the other major courses. And we provide true mentorship. So we'll teach you step by step how you personally should be studying for the CPA exam, how you should be managing your time, how you can be boosting your scores, and all that fun stuff. We also include a test bank of questions that are professor made that you can't find anywhere else. They're not used by Becker or Wiley or UWorld Roger. So if you're somebody who has failed, these are great questions for you to learn the blueprints from the ground up. We also provide accountability partners. We have accountability partner program and also video tutoring. But today, I just want to talk about the mentorship piece of what we provide. So the moment that you enroll in Kesler CPA, the first thing that we want you to do is to fill out our mentorship profile. And so by sharing specifics about your situation, I'm able to create what's called a mentorship manifesto. So this is going to be, it's a long document that I send you, but it's going to be tailored to your situation. It's going to give you step-by-step instructions, links to videos that I recommend that you go through in our training first based on where you currently are. And it's going to really give you a boost, a kickstart to this whole CPA exam process, whether you're brand new to the CPA exam or whether you're somebody who has failed and needs some guidance on how to pass with a Becker or a Wiley and so forth. So first thing I ask, how many sections have you passed? And we'll say we've passed one. So then based on that, which scenario best describes your current situation? So maybe you've got a section scheduled, but you just started studying, or you have a section scheduled and you're sitting very soon, less than 30 days and so forth. So again, these are very urgent scenarios that I need to know so that I can connect you to the best training and then provide you with the best recommendation for where you're currently at. Okay, and then what's your mental mindset towards the CPA exam? Are you feeling positive or completely lost, or are you struggling to make it a priority? And then what section are you currently studying for? What CPA Review course are you using primarily? And then how many weeks per week do you estimate you're going to be able to study? And then this is the key difference. So Becker just gave you those breakdowns. I'm going to recommend, if you're studying less than 15 hours, that you find a way to boost it to even more hours based on the next question, which is how many hours per week are you working? How full is your schedule? And so if typically people come to us, they're full-time or even more than full-time, then we'll come up with a better plan for you to base your decisions on. Okay, and then accountability partnership. So somebody on my team will follow up with you on this, but we also want to find somebody who cares about you in your life to get involved in the process as well. So we highly recommend, especially if you have little kids, get your family involved in this process so that they can be there side by side with you as you hit your study goals, and you can use them as motivation to get studying done. Okay, yep, and then we'll ask about kids and so forth. Okay, and then the first thing I want to do is address your number one struggle. So share with us what your number one struggle is, and we'll get on it helping you address it. Okay, and then the next step is the Kesler CPA Review Pledge, and then what t-shirt size are you? So we'll send you a CPA Exam Survivor shirt if you stick with us until you pass. So it's a big reward for passing the CPA exam. Okay, and boom, that's it. You have created your mentorship profile. And so that sends it off to us. Then we'll send you that mentorship manifesto, and then we'll provide recommendations for how to dive into the self-study course, Ultimate CPA Exam Guide Mentorship. And there's two other services that we provide. So Kesler CPA Review, that's our study supplement, which again has fresh questions not offered by Becker or Wiley or UWorld Roger, or any of the major courses. And these are all designed to help you fill in the gaps, give you fresh questions, and really teach you the blueprints from the ground up. And then we'll also give you access to if you have specific questions, you can submit questions to our tutors, and they'll send you a 10, 15, 20-minute video lecture about the current topic or multiple choice question that you're struggling with. So it's an amazing service to also have access to. But for today's video, and I will be making videos about these two other study supplements separately, and I'll link to them in the video description. But for today's video, I just want to discuss the Ultimate CPA Exam Guide method. Okay, so you'll notice the difference right away from Becker CPA Review is that our tutorials for how to pass the CPA exam, they are organized step by step. So step one is to start with your CPA exam mindset. So if you are not in the right mindset, it's nearly impossible to pass a CPA exam. So I want to address your fears, your failures, and your obstacles and help you come up with a big why that will keep you focused and motivated no matter what happens. Step two, we gotta discuss planning and scheduling. So if you don't have everything planned appropriately, whether it's a brand new section or a retake, you're really setting yourself up for failure. And I don't want you to get mugged along the way. So we really want to make sure that you're creating a flexible roadmap to passing, that you understand what's tested on each section so there are no surprises, and help you tackle the whole signing up and rescheduling and retaking process like a pro. The next step is that we need to address your study personality. So what are your learning strengths? How do we increase your productivity? How do we make notes while studying? Is that busy work, or can that be an effective way to enhance your learning experience? And so we'll be discussing CPA review courses and all the fun stuff there to enhance your studying productivity. Then, once you have optimized your time and made yourself the most productive possible, now we need to make more time to study. So what temporary sacrifices are you going to be making? What are the robbers of your time that you can cut out? Who's going to be your accountability partner? How do you balance work and family and the CPA exam without going insane? And again, this is stuff that no one is talking about in Becker CPA Review or any of the bigger courses that are out there. And it's why this is so valuable, because if you can find even an additional 5 hours per week because of this training, it could be the difference between a pass or a fail on your next section. So again, take this stuff seriously. Every single minute of every day matters while studying for the CPA exam. Okay, and module 5, this is definitely my favorite module. So this is my world famous study loops and final review study funnels. These are the study methods that I have taught, that I personally use to pass the CPA exam, and have been used by thousands of CPA candidates around the world with amazing success. And so within this training, and you'll notice directly below, I provide study tutorials. So how do you use Becker to pass? How do you use a Wiley, a UWorld Roger? We're going to teach you step by step the two phases of learning, which again are the learning phase and the final review phase. So during the learning phase, you need to be grasping everything you study and then constantly looping back and reviewing everything. And then during the final review study funnel phase, you need to be preparing for exam day. You need to be funneling out everything you understand and then focusing your time 100% on your weakest areas. So that is the two primary goals. And then we also have best practices video tutorials. So I'm going to teach you how to use Kesler CPA Review in conjunction with your CPA review course, and how it enhances your study experience instead of complicates it. So a common misconception that a lot of CPA candidates have is that instead of investing in mentorship and coaching, a smarter idea would be to go and buy a study supplement or another CPA review course. And so there's a real problem with this. And so let me break it down. So the AICPA, they release retired exam questions to all CPA providers. And so the courses, the big companies like the Beckers, they use these questions. And then the study supplements, all the little startups and the companies that do a couple things really well, they also use the same questions. And so what happens is that if you buy a second course, you are literally paying double for the exact same questions. And the startups, they typically don't have as big of a budget as the big courses to create quality explanations. And so it's on the test prep providers to create explanations, but if you're using the same questions, the explanations can't really be that much difference. And you're getting the exact same thing twice without providing mentorship, without providing accountability, with limited tutoring and limited community. And so here's what happens when you're adding a second CPA review course or study supplement to the mix. Typically, if you're not using a course like Kesler CPA Review, you're going to duplicate your effort. You're going to see the same questions multiple times. It's going to complicate your life because now you have two separate systems that they don't go together. Each course, they organize their content differently. They have a different way of tracking results and everything like that. And it's ultimately going to complicate your life. And then you're going to end up with the same disappointing result, which is what we want you to avoid. And so the smartest thing to do is to understand that it's not necessarily the CPA review course you use, but how you use it that matters most. And that's where Kesler CPA Review Mentorship comes in. We're going to teach you how to use your CPA review course, how to actually study, how to make more time. And then also, we're going to teach you how to manage your test anxiety. We're going to help you boost your scores on exam day by helping you understand how multiple choice questions are written, how test-based simulations are crafted, and what to be prepared for. And then on top of that, we're going to give you a step-by-step plan of attack for what happens after you sit for an exam. So what happens for CPA candidates is that they'll sit for an exam and then just sit there and twiddle their thumbs until score release. But what they don't realize is that time waiting, it's a huge opportunity to get momentum going and maintain those study routines that you work so hard to build. So when you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs waiting for score release day, you're going to be losing those good habits that you just developed studying for that other section. So what we recommend is that you sit there for a couple days and relax after you've sat for an exam. Definitely take some time to relax. Try to forget the exam even happened because everything is out of your control. Don't worry about your score. And then move on to your next section. Because again, that's what it all boils down to when you use Module 2 to set up a step-by-step flexible mapping to passing the CPA exam. And then if you end up finding out that you failed, it's not the end of the world because again, you have Module 7A, the 9-step failure recovery catapult to implement. Or if you pass, then you're going to have the 4-step ego check method to recovering from passing a section. And both of these trainings are designed to help you avoid getting blockages in your momentum. So instead of seeing failure as the end of the world, you're just going to see it as the next step in the process, and you already have a step-by-step plan of attack in place. And then you schedule your retake based on our recommendations, based on your personal situation, and you're off to the races. So does that sound cool? Head to the comment section now. I'd love to hear your thoughts on CPA Exam Mentorship. Is this new stuff for you? Have you ever even considered this regarding the CPA exam process? So I wish that something like this existed back when I was studying for the CPA exam. And it's honestly exactly why I created this, because I saw a real need for proactive coaching and mentorship in the CPA exam community, because it's so lacking, as you could see, from the big box CPA review courses. Oh, and fun fact, we also have retake tutorials specific to the Beckers and the Wileys and the U World Rogers that are all tied to our step-by-step process. So again, nothing is left uncovered. Everything is step-by-step. And we're here to help you pass the CPA exam no matter what it takes. All right, and the last thing I want to discuss is some VIP bonuses that we have thrown in there. So we have all sorts of step-by-step checklists. We've got a course planner that you can download that's going to keep you on track throughout your entire journey to passing the CPA exam. We've got, again, our flexible roadmap to passing that you can print out and keep in front of you. We've got a life audit worksheet to help you find even more time to study no matter how busy you are. We've got an accountability study rewards calendar built into the platform, and all sorts of other cool stuff. Oh, and we've got study methods checklists for each specific CPA review course that you can use hand in hand with the study planners that are provided with your CPA review course. So again, we've thought of just about everything when it comes to coaching you and holding your hand until you pass this beast of an exam. And the key here is to start a subscription with Kesler CPA Review. So to get started today, go below this video in the video description or in the comment section. I'm going to have a link to our current special offer, or you can apply to join to make sure you're a good fit. Because again, if you don't need mentorship, we definitely don't want to sell something that you don't need. But I'm telling you, if you are somebody who has struggled to pass a section of the CPA exam, if you're currently studying and are starting to spin your wheels, or if you are brand new to the process, having access to Kesler CPA Review Mentorship is going to give you a huge boost of confidence and motivation, and it's going to just relieve a ton of stress, because we're going to be making all the difficult decisions for you so that you can spend less time making decisions and more time doing what matters, which is studying the way that we teach you step by step. So thank you again for watching. Really excited to get started with you, and I'll see you on the other side inside of Ultimate CPA Exam Guide and our Kesler CPA Review Study Supplements. And if you're skeptical if Kesler CPA Review is getting results in real time for CPA candidates, I've got some bad news for you. We've got hundreds of success stories here. So for example, Yasmin, she just shared a few hours ago of me shooting this video that Kesler CPA Review gave her a huge boost to her scores, and she was able to pass both audit and FAR, and it's been a 6-year journey for her. So imagine how much her life is changed, and how cool it is that something like Kesler CPA Review is getting amazing results for people around the world. And there's just so many cool stories in here. I wish I had more time to share, but it just goes on and on. So this stuff works when you execute it. So if you are willing to put in a lot of hard work, I am here for you to help you pass this beast of an exam. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up soon in the next video. Bye.